got that going on.
I've got a cold. Okay.
I mean, I get you. I'm just saying, you had to. I mean,
was that whilst it was muted, or was it?
No, that
muted?
was while it was muted, but I had unmuted myself, and I was about to click yours, and then you cleared the phlegm of the Holy Ghost from your throat, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what is happening right now? Disobey, what's going on, man? I was just talking about you right before we went live, right before y'all could hear my voice. So today we're going to have a relaxed thing going on. Semi-relaxed. I mean, we're going to be doing battle with questions as we interview each other. But, yeah, we're going to focus, and I'm going to say this because only a few people are here right now. So anybody that doesn't hear it at this point, you just don't hear it. But we actually heard back from Media Molecule.
Oh, we did.
We heard from Abby, and she's checking with Kareem as well as having a talk with Sony to see if they can get the okay to come onto our podcast. So that's the big news.
And we have Ed Hargrave as well, head of music, who is also interested in being on the show.
We're about to go big out here. But only a few of y'all will know, apparently. So
Can I just say before we start, I apologize for the people watching the stream today that my face is so huge. I seem to be really zoomed in on the video today, so apologies for that. And also, I have a cold, so if I start to sniffle, don't be alarmed. I haven't got COVID. I've just got a cold.
Have you had the test though?
No.
So you could have COVID.
I'm feeling a lot better though than I was a couple of days ago.
So's
I'm
Trump.
almost back to normal.
So's Trump. No, I'm just
no, don't compare me to Trump.
I didn't compare. I'm just saying, both y'all guys be some COVID having motherfuckers. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I ain't a fucking liar.
I wish the best out here for you, real talk. But I'm just saying. So, yeah.
Trump.
He wasn't feeling good. Yes. Hello. I saw you in the Light City chat. Good to see other people that are doing voice acting, and thank you for joining us. How do you, let's see, Trisha be tripping? Trisha be tripping. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. I had to work through that. I was like, there's so many letters in the beginning of that. I was like, Tri-City? Tri-City? I'm sorry. It's just the way today is going. I love you. Anyway, thank you for coming. I'll tell you, and then I won't tell anybody else that happens to lumber in here after start time. But
that's what you get for coming early.
Yeah, this is what you get for coming early. We are in talks with Media Molecule, and Abby and Kareem are both checking with Sony to get the okay to come onto this podcast to talk with us and the Made in Dreams crew. So thank you for coming. We are going official. So thank you for coming early. I appreciate you.
No, so I ain't stopping until we get that blue tick on our Twitter account. I'm just saying.
You're obsessed with this blue tick.
Like,
I don't care. Maybe that's just my idiocy.
No,
I just don't care.
It just shows how far you've come, if enough people actually look at your stuff and Twitter's like, oh, let's just give them a blue tick. They seem to be quite important. It's like, hey, people recognize us. What we're doing is working.
All-Star Typhus, welcome. We are going to be going over some things, and though I will not repeat what I just repeated, for that was only for some of the people, but what we're going to be doing today is we wanted to kind of interview each other, but also still address questions within the Dreams community, because I've been paying extra close attention to what people have been discussing, whether it be on Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, stuff like that. And it made me think of a bunch of questions. Some I can't ask him, but we may get a chance to ask those who I want to ask coming soon. So did you want to just jump right into this?
Yeah, I mean, let's go. I mean, you proposed this, so start. You can start by giving me the first question if you like.
All right. Well, then we're going to keep it very simple for the first question before we ramp it up. Hold on. Let me see if I could get this going. I mean, I just want to make it combative for no reason. So here we go. We have a ka-ching.
All right.
There we go.
Oh,
we got it.
all right. Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. So what is the meaning of life?
Oh, this episode is not long enough to answer that question.
Yeah, spicy. That's all its own, and I don't even think it fits here, but we will see. We might try to fall back on that as the final question.
I'll prepare myself for that.
Dreams is the meaning. Yeah, hey.
You know what? That's an easy way to end that question. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Let's go with that.
But here we go. What do you want to ask Media Molecule the most about dreams?
Oh, now you say that's like, a short and easy question, but it
It
really
is.
not.
It is. Because you can
Maybe
always come
you.
back to it. You can always come back to it.
Okay. Okay. What do I want to ask them the most?
Like, and you can answer on this episode, you can answer your own questions. So if you really need time, I can buy you some time.
What I would like to ask them most is, will you take Lucid Nebula Studios under your tree, under your umbrella, get Sony to hire us, and we'll create content for Media Molecule to post onto Dreams? That'd be pretty sweet.
So what you want is to beg them for a job.
I mean, don't we all?
I mean, I wouldn't mind, asking them, but I feel like, and this could be just my stupidity. Once again, that's going to be my go-to. My mind grapes are firing, but not on all cylinders yet. So I feel like I'm going to start this out with a story. Back in 2005, when I had finished college, yes, I'm old. And I just had a birthday, so happy birthday, me. I went out to L.A., cross country, moved away from my family and everything, and it's probably the most fun I've had in my life was the time that I spent out in California. I ended up having to move back to Virginia, but when I came back, I had this idea in my head of everything I had learned from California, where it was like, California is wonderful, but don't go until they ask you to come. That's
what, California asks you? Or?
Yes. Like, what I mean is, like, I was going out there for movies.
Okay.
And what I learned the most when I was out there was that everybody is, in fact, there for movies. Everybody's a writer. Everybody's a director. Everybody's doing all this stuff. And because of that, people have a hard time working together. They kind of all have that fake it till you make it mentality. So like, if you don't have the connections, you have to have a team that wants that has a single focus. Just like, you have to have a team that's like, we're going out there, we're going to make a movie, and then we're going to push that product through. Whereas a lot of people just go there and they're expecting to be picked off the street like a shiny nickel, and just shown the gateways of Hollywood opening up to you. And that can happen, but it's so rare that it can almost be said not to happen at all. So that's what I feel like with Media Molecule. Like, I would love for them to approach, or love to be like, look, man, can you give me a job? Can you? I'm old now. I ain't got time. I don't have any dignity left. Look, just do something with me, please. I don't mind. But I would love for them to actually come up and be like, hey, like, the podcast you run is really good. I would like to, can we bring you on under Media Molecule to do a podcast for us with us? Like
Yeah,
or
yeah,
if
that
we
would be more rewarding
yeah,
in the
or if
fact,
we
yeah.
make we finish Dino, and then they're like, we see what y'all can do with
Oh
very little
no.
resources.
Woo.
So and I have a question kind of around that a little
Mhm.
bit later. So we'll get back to that. My answer for what I want to ask MM the most is like how they're approaching the upgrade to PS5, but not just that. Okay, we've talked
Mm,
about that ad
mm,
nauseum here.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what I would say is thank you, I appreciate that, Del Real. But all engines have iterations, and I want to know if there's like a bubble bath too.
Oh,
Like, is there something that we just like? I haven't heard anyone really bring this up, but I started thinking about Unreal Engine and how, we're on Unreal Engine, what now? 5, 4, whatever.
5.
So, yeah, 5. So I'm like, is there a different version, like a hyped up version of this engine that they could not get on PS4? And
Mm,
is that
very
what
true.
they're planning to work on through that? So that would be, man, don't you start Del Real. And so first I get in this podcast and Jammy starts coming for me. Now you coming for me in the chat. I love you. Anyway, keep doing it. So yeah,
I like where you're going with that though. That is quite interesting to think that there might be a Bubble Bath 2.0
yeah,
that's made specifically for PS5, and that would explain why they've been so quiet as of late on
yeah.
the whole news front of that. But in regards to my questions, in all seriousness, I think one of the main things that I would probably ask them, especially if they came onto the show, would be the exploitation of games, because it's something that everybody wants, and I think that everybody deserves the right to export the stuff that they've created, especially if it's completely designed by themselves and not use any remix parts or anything. So that would be pretty much what I would ask them if they come on the show.
Okay. All right. All right. Yours was not as wordy as mine. I told a whole
You're
story. I turned
okay,
into
you.
Homer. I had a
Yes,
whole
goodbye the
adventure.
fire, kids. Let me tell you the old tale.
Yeah, like but Art's Dream 2. I feel like I said, we'll get to that question cuz I
Mm,
do have a
mm.
question around that.
Okay.
So it's your turn, right?
Well, you need to tell me the question first. You wrote all these questions.
No, no. You were supposed to come with questions.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
You know what? I'm gonna keep going. We're gonna give him time
Right,
to
you keep
scribble.
going till you hit a stalemate. I'll jibble around.
Okay. So, what is your biggest pet peeve in dreams other than memes?
Oh, why'd you take memes out?
Because I
Uh,
knew that would be the easy answer for you. That would be the answer that I knew was coming back at me, and we need to get over that. We need to accept that
true.
memes are here. They're gonna
Yeah.
be here. What's
Mm.
next?
Oh, the next thing that annoys me in dreams. The problem with dreams is it's so good, it's difficult to actually nitpick stuff out of it. But I think my main issue with dreams, and this is not sort of a take on anybody's creations at all, but the problem that I find with dreams is that everything looks the same, if that makes sense. In the
Mm,
fact that you look at it and you're like, well, this was clearly made in dreams. Everything has that dreams look about it, and that annoys me because it's a game engine, and you should be able to differentiate yourself, and only a very select few creators have managed to break that chain and create something that doesn't look like it's made in dreams.
yeah,
And I don't think it should be that difficult to get away from that dreams look then. I'm not sure what it is about it. It's very difficult to explain, but you just know when you see it. You're like, yep, this was made in dreams. It has that whole vibe about it.
yeah,
And some people would say, well, that's a nice quirk with dreams, because everybody's in the same engine and stuff. But you wouldn't say that about Unreal or any other engine. If everything looked the same, people would say, well, this engine has a problem. Everything looks the same. So I would like it if there was a way to make things look less. I don't know what I really don't know what the word is for it. Just less dreamsy, like, especially for people that's trying to create realism. It's very difficult to create realism within Dreams because Dreams has this sort of painty feel about it.
Hmm.
Everything feels blotchy and very stroked, and that's just because the way that Dreams is designed. But for me personally, it's a bit off-putting when everything has that same look, especially when people are trying to remove that look and fail. You can see that it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. So All Star said that he wanted to know your PSN because he's like to see how many you've played because there's such a wide variety of art and dreams if you look for it. And yeah, what's your response to that? Do you
Uh,
agree?
I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, but especially for someone that is getting into Dreams, like let's just say you've convinced one of your friends to get onto Dreams and have a look at what exactly it is and how people are doing things. Someone that is, relatively experienced with gaming and gaming mechanics, game art style, people that know their games. One of the first things I would think someone would pick up on is the fact that everything looks the same. So it's not necessarily that you have to look for it. You shouldn't have to look for it. I think the features should be there for texturing and stuff to make it easy to distinguish your creation against someone else's. Whereas right now, although there are some really unique games within Dreams and they're amazing, visually a lot of them all look the same, and I think it can be quite off-putting because it's like you're just remixing the same thing over and over and over with a different character and a different mechanic because it doesn't look no different.
So hmm. So your pet peeve is basically the difficulty it is to create a style within
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah. I mean, if it
Hmm.
was easier to make a unique style, we would have a lot more different styles within Dreams. But because I think, and no, this is coming from someone that is not a creator within Dreams, I'm terrible at it. So, please correct me if I'm wrong. But surely, if it was easier to create your own style within Dreams, we would see more of it. And because it isn't easy, that's why we see a lot of the same style of games within Dreams, because it's just too much work to try and distinguish yourself in it.
Hmm. Okay. I
I,
I
I may
mean,
I may be I may be digging myself a hole here, but you asked for a pet peeve.
hey, 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 hey! I did it. I've done it multiple times on this show, so I'm good. Retro Brian, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. So, my biggest pet peeve, and I don't mean this in disrespect to anyone, especially anybody that takes the time out to be here for this show. And don't read past what I'm saying. Just try to understand where I'm coming from. In film, and everybody, I come from a film background, so that's where my involvement into dreams always starts from, just in case you haven't been here before. In film, the most common genres of film are rom-coms and horror, specifically because they're considered the cheapest productions to execute at a high return. And not so much rom-coms, but I kind of fear that horror is going to be treated that way in dreams. And this is kind of my backup one because like my backup I guess answer, because I have another one, but I kind of want to focus on this and get to the other one later, I guess. But I have seen some really wonderful horror games as well as horror short films within dreams. But I feel like almost every almost every other day there's like another 50 horror genre things going up on dreams. And it's not
Hmm.
necessarily a pet peeve because you create what you want to create. And to hell with me or anybody else that wants to get in your way, okay? Just bottom line. But I have this thing where I'm just like, everybody has been to the movies or been seeing movies and been like, so I'm tired of seeing that same romantic comedy story. I'm tired of seeing that same horror story where the five kids go out to the cabin. Like, I have this, I don't know. I just have this kind of thing where it's like, please don't overdo horror within dreams because
To
I
be fair,
feel
though,
like
we
it's
are in October.
no. I get it, but I mean, this has been the case since I came to dreams.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I see more horror games than almost anything else that's completed. And so, I don't know. Like, it's just, I kind of just don't want, like, especially with people being concerned with, like, the fact that the algorithm on searching dreams suck. With all this focus, not just in October, because it's October, okay? I understand. It's Halloween, okay? I get it. All right? I expect y'all to think more of me than to catch me on that. But, like I said, it's something that I've seen ever since I came to Dreams, was like this constant revolving churning out of horror. And there are people that I've seen that have made a few of them. Do you guys voice in Light City Project?
No, not me personally, at least.
I do. Yeah, Iron Spirit. But yeah, so basically, I don't know. I just, especially with people complaining about like the algorithm sucking and their work not being seen. I feel like this is one of the things that's gonna attribute to that. Is the fact that there's so many people making this specific genre that, yeah, you might be able to get your stuff seen. And God knows if you make something absolutely mind-blowing, you can separate yourself from the pack. But there's also so many people in that pack. To go back to the Hollywood story I was telling you, there's so many fish in the barrel, and you're hoping to be the one that pops out above it. And so it's just, I want to see people, I don't know. I want to see people do what they want to do, but I also feel like there's a danger here. And I don't know. I feel like people will ultimately get it, or they'll just stop looking for validity, because that does go into what I feel my next question is.
All right.
And I'm going to say this, and no names from anybody, okay? If you want to throw shade in chat, feel free to throw shade, but it's not coming from me. No names, but do you feel there are creators within Dreams that don't embody what Dreams is about?
Yes.
And do you feel that their success could ruin Dreams?
Yes. 100%. And again, no names mentioning, but we know there's certain projects out there, that are getting a lot of heat for what I would say is the wrong reasons. And I think that doesn't suit what Dreams was created for. Dreams was created to create, play, and share your own ideas. Dreams was built, and it's called Dreams, is to make your dreams a reality. And if your dream is to create a copyrighted piece of material that belongs to a huge company, then, why are you doing it on a platform that could get damaged by that? And a platform that is in its very early stages, and if you're in this platform and you know Dreams well enough to use it, then you know that the community around this platform is everything. And for me personally, it's just like, well, why? You have all these other engines to use. If you want to create something like that, take it somewhere else. I personally don't want it here. I don't want to see the Mario games. I don't want to see the Zelda games. I don't want to see any Nintendo IP. We have those games. We don't need you to make them. And okay, you may have a great idea for a Mario game or a Zelda game or whatever the case may be. That's all well and good. But it's not yours to mess with. It belongs to somebody else. It's like us creating Dino outside of Dreams on another engine, becoming hugely successful with it, and having this massive IP that millions of people play,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone comes along and creates a meme of Dino in some sexual way or something, and then that sort of differs away from the integrity of what we created. And it's like, I've seen creations on Dreams like that, with a lot of brutality, sexualism against IPs that they don't own, and that is damaging that intellectual property. And it's just like, well, why would you want to do that in the first place?
Does
And
it
if you
though?
do, to me it does, because I can see, with me creating Dino in my brain from the beginning and now having a physical thing that we're playing around with, and hopefully one day we'll have a game out of it. If someone took that and made something sexual out of it, I would be really pissed off, because that's my brainchild. And, that would affect the outlook of what people see of the thing that I created, and they've turned it into something that it was never intended to be. And so
Hmm.
I don't know. I can appreciate why companies are quite strict on, fan-made games. And not all the people on Dreams are creating stuff like that. They're just trying to create a cool Mario game or a cool Zelda game or whatever it might be. But Dreams was not designed for that. It was to make your own dreams. So, if you have the ability and the skill to make a one-for-one Mario game, you have the skill to make your own platformer. Just change the character, change the story, be a bit more creative with it. You're clearly creative enough to be able to create what you've done. Why not just go the extra mile and create something completely unique?
What if
That
they?
just
Well, let me go ahead and read what All Star said. Here's
Mhm.
the thing: I know of people who started out making Mario and Dreams just to learn the tools, and now a year later they're making great original IP without
Yeah,
making the Mario first and using that to learn the tools. The great new
that's
original IP
fine.
would not exist.
That's fine. Just don't release it then. You know, why release it? If you wanted to create Mario and using that as a base to learn how to do stuff because you're very familiar with the genre, you're familiar with the mechanics, then by all means, go batshit crazy with it. But you don't have to release it. That's the issue. Use the IPs all you want to be able to learn how to create the way that you want to create. If you want to create a game that's based on the style of Mario in regards to, scenes and mechanics and how the game physically runs, then fair enough. I'm not saying that these companies own the rights to the genre. Mario's a platformer, but that doesn't mean Nintendo has all rights on platforming games. But what I'm trying to say is if you're using Mario as a base, that's all well and good, but don't release a Mario game. Release your own creation instead.
Hmm. Okay. Well, this one I'm going to bring up as far as what I would say my answer is, and it correlates to certain people in chat, but it is not, I promise you, unless you're here and I don't know you're here, like it correlates to some people, but it's not about you. It's not. Vicious doesn't lie to the people. And if I felt it necessary to say someone's name, I'm also not afraid of it. So, I don't feel that that's not Dreams.
Hmm.
That's not what I want to promote here. But one thing I fear is, as far as someone, I don't know, I guess I would say becoming a someone becoming kind of like a spokesperson for Dreams without the passion. And in a way, the way that I worded the question originally is not fair to people, but it's just the way I worded it. I have a fear that some of the people that are content curators
Hmm.
of Dreams aren't doing it to bring attention to Dreams. They're trying to ride a wave.
Okay.
And it's the same thing you find with everything. It's not just Dreams. It's you have people that, let me see here. I'll get back to what you said, Payoff Wizard. And hey, Joe. So it's kind of like, you know, the best term I can think about it for in America is called grifters.
Okay.
It's when someone becomes a spokesperson for a certain position, but they don't really believe in what they're saying. They're merely saying it for the clicks and for the views.
Mm-hmm.
And
they have to sell it to themselves.
Yeah, and so the idea that influence, like most of the people I know that do the curation actually do, well, that I know do have the fire for dreams. But I've also come across people where it's just the cool thing to do to put the top 5 dreams of the week. And it's like, but you're not like, if All-Star or Saku or anybody of that ilk like want to do that, then I'm like, fuck yeah, they're in the game to actually bring more attention and help the dreams community. But then you have some other people, or ugly sofa gaming, which we've talked to here. They love dreams, but they do mostly curation. No problem. But there are people that are out here just throwing together these videos for the views, and you can tell they have more money than most people.
Yeah.
Like, they're not starting from zero. They're not doing it out of passion. They're just riding the wave of hype. And I fear that those people will become the go-to spokesperson influencers of dreams instead of the people that we have in this chat that we all know on dreams that should be the spokespeople, that should be the people bringing in the shepherd, herding like all of the people to us. Like, I feel like it has a real big chance to go wrong if the power isn't placed in the right hands. So that's something that's my answer. We need to go back through chat because a lot of people have been talking.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on.
Let's see. JavannaCon, I just got done playing Walking Dead Saints and Sinners at PSVR. It's fucking workout, probably. I think the Avatar stuff is almost victims of their own success. It's gotten to the point now where it's so big it's basically become a full-time job. But I love Elka's stuff and learn a lot while watching him work. Yeah. Viacom made him change the name. Yes, they did. But all is well. Let me see. Ragamuffin, anything that gets popular will have clout chasers coming in and trying to ride that wave of said clout. Yes, it will.
It's just going to happen.
I just hope that they don't get the nod. Like, there's so many people out here so fired up and really care about dreams, like care about it more than certain things in their life. And I feel like those are the people that you need out here, like talking to the people, spreading the gospel of dreams. And so just like with those other things that you have people that you know are the clout chasers and the meme lords, like I just hope that it falls into the right hands. That's it.
We should just have you. You should just be the curator of all things dreams. Well, I mean, it just makes sense.
I would not do it unless they came to me asking me to do it, because that's not where and this is the thing. Like, I love talking with people on this podcast. I love meeting all of the different people that have skills way beyond what I can do in dreams, and their skills more accurately cross over into dreams for what it is at this moment. I love talking to those people. They inspire me. They make me want to get, you don't know how many times after this podcast I've gone into dreams to something that I've been stuck on for too long for me to feel comfortable about telling you how long. And I'll just sit there and just work at it. And I'm like, they could do it. I could do it. Like, I just need to focus. I need to get down to brass tacks. And, that is the feeling. Like that's what I want to spread. Not dreams turned into just a hashtag. Just something that people can throw out there for clout. Let me see. Can't even get my friends to buy it. Oh, I've gotten 3 of my no. Hold on. I've gotten 5 of my friends to buy it.
Wow. That's good.
And I have one more who wants to buy it but needs to get a PlayStation, so he's waiting for PlayStation 5 to get it, and then he's going to buy it. But yeah. I guess we would. Do you have a question?
I do.
Oh.
I've been scribbling away in the background whilst you've been chit-chatting. So one of the questions that I wanted to bring up was, now that you've used Dreams for a while and you've used it enough to understand pretty much how game creation works, and the fact that you've been working in quite a large team on a full-scale project, would you consider in the future moving to another platform such as Unreal or something to have more creative freedom?
No.
Okay.
No, and my to elaborate, because what it comes down to is Dreams, as I've stated many times on this podcast, is the game that I've literally been asking someone to make. Better yet, the tool that I've been asking someone to make for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And they've made it. No matter how hard something is on Dreams, I know that if I have just a little bit more time to my day, or just a few more weeks, just little by little, I will get to where I'm going, and I will improve in all the areas that I lack. I don't have that same confidence in Unreal or Unity or any of that, because I've tried it. And it's literally like, look, you open the program and it isn't that wonder of, oh man, what can I create? It's, holy shit, I'm going to have to read a tome the size of 5 stacked Bibles to even realize what button I need to push to start. Yeah. And that's why I will stay loyal to Dreams for as long as it exists, because there's no hope because I don't have the time. There is no hope for me to go in and be that guy that learns Unity from the ground up to be able to pull off anything close to what I want to accomplish. Whereas with Dreams, let's say that I wasn't trying to build my own characters, that I wasn't trying to create I've been working very hard to make my art style in Dreams. I haven't hit it yet, but I've gotten really close. And through hard work, but not as much hard work as it would have taken in anything else. But even if I couldn't do that, I could go on to the Dreamiverse, grab some characters, and be like, okay, well, then I'll make a movie, give credit to the people who made the characters, and I will still have created what I set out to do. And then I can refine it from there. Whereas there's none of that. None of those steps exist in other engines, because it's going to take me time that I just don't have to be able to do it now. Like, even if I can't put out the most polished thing that I would want to, I can put out something to where someone could look at it and be like, I see what this guy was going for. Hey, that's actually a really cool idea. That's what I want. I may not be good enough to do all of it myself yet, but the accessibility of Dreams makes so much more possible immediately, and it takes you by the hand. It takes you by the hand. It rubs some fragrances and oils on your chest. It goes and lays you on the sofa, gets you some grapes, and it's like, hey, you enjoy your time here. And I'm like, you know what? I will. I don't mind being here. Whereas Unity, like I said, you open the program and you're just like, there's so many toggles and buttons and different timelines and node links and all this other stuff just right in your
Mm,
face, right off the bat. And you're just like, how do I even start? So yeah,
yeah.
I'm with Dreams until the end, until they literally take it away from me. I'm just I'm
No,
gonna
no, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of people in the Dreams community, and a lot of people have moved from Dreams to another engine because they just want to do more and reach a wider audience. And at the same time, a lot of people have, came to Dreams from experience of using Unity or Unreal or CryEngine or whatever other engines there are, and much prefer Dreams because of its simplicity and its how Dreams is, how nice it is to work with. So it's just interesting to see the different takes on what people see as the engine of choice for them, especially people that have come to game creation specifically from Dreams. I can imagine a lot of people being tempted to try other engines to see just how easier it is in those because of the flexibility of being able to export and reaching a wider audience and whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's an interesting thought.
like Javanican said that I like to use Dreams and sometimes export my models into Blender. Blender was the last thing that I actually tried to learn, and I actually learned quite a lot. I mean, I'm no expert at Blender, but that was Dreams light to me. And yes, I know there's more things capable in Blender than currently in Dreams, but it was the closest thing with ease of access and help that I could find before Dreams came out. And I was off my feet for a month because of medical stuff. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start watching every single Blender video I can find. And bet your bottom dollar, if for some horrible reason, if I end up in the bed again for a month, when I come back out on Dreams, I am going to be fantastic. Like I learned, I mean, when I said I went into Blender, I went in. I was watching everything. I was like sitting at the edge of my bed with a using my art monitor and a mouse, and I was sitting there just learning things and trying to get things going.
Mm,
But those are one of those rare times in adulthood where I had the time, and I still am not as far into it as I am in Dreams.
mm.
So
And that sort of leads into my next question, which was, do you think engines like Unreal and Unity will copy features from Dreams to their engine to make it easier for people to start developing on their platform?
I would say no. And the only reason I think that is because they are set in their ways. And I do believe that while there are certain things that cross over between the platforms or
Hmm.
from between the softwares, there's also things that they would have to change drastically to make it work like Dreams and
Mm.
not break everything else. So 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 I think even if they wanted to, of course, they could do some sort of workaround, but I don't think a lot of them are set up to do such an overhaul of their software to make it work like Dreams to try to grab
Uh,
in that ease of
yeah,
accessibility group.
I don't necessarily mean, to make it like Dreams, but let's just say, for instance, how sculpting then is done in Dreams. Like, to me, that's a lot more intuitive than anything I've seen in any other engine. I mean, they could
Hmm.
easily add a Dreams-like sculpt feature to Unity. So you've still got the original way of creating stuff in Unity, but then you've also got this dreams-like sculpting feature if you choose to use that feature. I mean, it is possible, in my opinion, that things like that could happen, and especially for like logic and stuff as well. Although I still can't make head nor tail of the logic in Dreams, it is a lot more easier to understand than anything else I've seen within engines. And, there is one of the engines, and don't quote me on it because I don't know which one it is, but it's quite similar in the way that you wire everything up to the different boxes and, there's on and off switches and stuff. So, but that's just the principles of how logic works in games. But I do see a future where, if Dreams becomes popular enough that these engines start to look at it, like if Unreal's there, like, okay, let's see what this Dreams thing is all about. And they look at how the sculpting is done. They're like, okay, that's actually really clever. Let's implement that into our engine to make it easier for our users to develop stuff as quick as Dreams can make it.
So Mikey says, Dreams came at the game dev from a ground up mentality. These other engines would have to start over. I see Dreams taking over in the future if they open up and allow exporting games to all platforms like a full game dev engine. We'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll definitely see, but in my opinion, and again, don't bite my head off, as good as Dreams is, unless they do a massive overhaul and, start to open up Dreams to PC and stuff to be able to make more use of it, I don't think we're going to see Dreams take over the way that he's saying. Because, let's be honest, Dreams as it is in the state right now does not have the ability to create a AAA title with, graphical fidelity of games that are out now. I personally think it's not possible.
With its current limitations.
Yeah, with its current limitations, that's why I said if it was, released to PC and they did this massive overhaul so that you could create things to that style and fidelity, then sure. But as it is right now, it's just not possible.
And I would like to back up because Spicy said there's no polygons in Dreams. It just remembers how something was sculpted, which is crazy in and of itself. Yeah. And I think that's really the difference that's really what I was asking for all these years was I wanted a program that was made by artists, not by not by coders. Like, and I feel like everything works from the standpoint of a coder, of someone like technically making a representation of what art is, as opposed to Dreams, which from the ground up was built from an artist mindset. It was built from, hey, I'm an artist and I want to be able to do this. Now, as an artist, how do I feel is intuitive to do this? Like, what is the way that would be the most intuitive for me to achieve this? That's what separates Dreams for me, is that they nailed that. And yeah, you still have technical stuff going on. You still have things that, they're harder concepts to grasp. But at its base, I told y'all when I first started Dreams, and a lot of the reason that I have trouble now in Dreams and what I try to do is because I opened it up. I didn't play Art's Dream. I didn't go into Dream. They're like searching for dreams that had been made. I jumped right into, what do you call it? Sculpting, basically. Dream shaping. And I went right in and immediately started putting shit together. And because I didn't take the time to go through a lot of those tutorials, I now have to go back to do them. But the fact that I could do that day one with no help, like that is why I'm willing to stay. That's why I'm like, you know what? This is them trying to speak to me.
No, I get it. It makes perfect sense. I mean, it is the only engine that I believe that you can go in day one with no prior experience in game development at all and be able to put something together that you can physically release and have people play.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything that is so intuitive and easy to do. Although, yes, it is complicated, but like I said, even someone like myself that has no ability to create anything because I am far too impatient. But still, if I had to do it, Dreams would be the place to do it because it's so much easier than anywhere else.
And that kind of rolls into my next question.
All right.
So, back when we were speaking with a few guests now, we talked about logic being streamlined even further,
Mm-hmm.
what else do you feel could be streamlined further in Dreams?
For me, that's quite difficult to say, as again, I'm not very much of a creator within Dreams, so I don't really know how well the tools work in regards to creating to know what needs to be refined, or added, or changed, or removed. So, from a creating standpoint, I don't really have enough experience or knowledge in that field to be able to answer it from there. But
Huh.
I think that the the way you play games on Dreams could be refined a lot more. And I find that, the trending side doesn't work that well. The games just keep popping up in your recommended that you've either played or seen for the last 6 months. So the whole Dreamiverse section could really do with some work, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, it's there, but it's just not perfect, and it wouldn't take much to make it perfect. It just needs some slight adjustments and someone constantly looking at it to be able to update it where it needs to be updated, remove things from the recommended, or remove stuff from the trending when it's not trending at all. There's just certain little things that would make the whole Dreamiverse experience a lot better. And it's just a shame that it hasn't been done, because it is little minute things that would just upgrade it to a whole new level for me.
Okay.
Was that not the answer you were
No, no,
expecting?
no. That's. I, I was thinking something a little more specific.
Okay.
Like, but at the same time,
Let's delve deeper then.
But at the same time, there's no wrong answer, baby. I'm here for you. I'm here. So, like, for me personally, and to respond to Spicy, he said we should do a sculpt off.
Oh,
And I'm
God.
like, you must really like watching paint dry, my guy.
You must really hate me.
You must hate everyone here. If you want to subject everyone to how I work, like, y'all are just going to be laughing at me. And you know what? I don't think I'm ready for that level of rejection. Like, for me,
That would be hilarious, though.
I
Sorry,
think
go on.
I think there's things that are, like you said, that are really simple that could be done easily by someone in Media Molecule, but just hasn't been made official. Like Logic, I feel like Logic is just, it's as easy as it's gonna get. I really do feel that way. Like, unless you want them to do the logic for you, like it's pretty it's pretty tameable. You just got to put the time into it. And I think you can see that by even a person like me who doesn't, I suck at logic, but when I see games, like certain games, there's a trailer I saw yesterday called Tale of Paper. And the whole game is, or the game is that you're basically a paper dude running around, and like origami, you fold yourself with your abilities into different things, like a paper airplane or something like that.
Is this within Dreams, or?
No, this is on
Okay.
PlayStation. It was a newly released indie game. And
Okay. I like the sound of that. That's good.
the fact that I can see that game and be like, yo, this is purely, like, this can easily be done in Dreams. That is the beauty of Dreams. But when I say things specifically, like, I think they should have built-in voice recognition speaking for dummies. Something that's fluid, that makes it so you don't have to, like, chop off half his face and to create a South Park Canadian to, like, get that speaking, motion.
Yeah,
like, if they were like, hey, take this puppet that has a built-in mouth, and the mouth, when you talk, it actually, like, moves like a mouth. And, like, if they simply had that, I feel like it would make character creation a lot easier. If they had a simplistic way to where you could say, hey, this character has has seams, remove seams. Like that, because I think that is one of the biggest things that maintains what you were talking about earlier about the Dreams look. Like when you said that, I immediately thought of, kind of like how, when people make their characters, you can see the seams. So even if it looks good, it still doesn't, it's still, for me personally, I'll say it that way. For me personally, it's like, man, if they could have gotten away from those seams, this would be straight up like Pixar level stuff. And the fact that you can't easily get rid of those seams, like, I mean, there's only a few people, including Cyber Sheep, that have been able to hide it. And even when you hear some of their people talk, or other people in a few other projects that are hiding seams really well in their things, they're like, yeah, that person, the guy who knows how to get rid of those seams, they call him a magician. Everybody's like, yeah, he's just insane with character modeling. And it's like, that means that there's an element that could be fixed, or an element that could make it even more accessible. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how technically you would approach it. So all in all, they might be like, yo, shut up. It's not that easy. Like, I will never, like I said, when it comes to some of this stuff, realize that I'm talking, I'm talking. That's what I'm here for. But I don't know how hard that is, but I know that it's not as intuitive as other pieces of the game. So it's a place that could be touched up to me. And I think if you had something where you had a model that had the mouth area and you could talk, and it literally formed like a mouth, like someone talking, like the new stuff for that they demoed at during the NVIDIA RTX 3000 series thing, where it automatically does that. And I'm like, that's something that should be in Dreams, just to help with the fidelity of the overall character acting within games.
So you mean like sort of using the PlayStation camera, and as you talk, it sort of records the voice and the facial movement and then adds that keyframe by keyframe into your character?
I mean, that's a little more detailed than I was thinking. Like, I understand why they can't have that, honestly.
Yeah, I was going to say, that you're asking a lot of that camera.
No, but I mean, like in animation, when you're syncing lips, like, you have basically the vowels and certain consonants that form a specific shape in the mouth. But it could be as simple as having those as a pre-mouth, as like a pre-thing installed in the puppet, where you have those shapes, and then when you talk, you, like, it automatically can basically read that. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's asking too much. I just feel like if somebody can do it already, then there has to be a way to make that work in Dreams. And I think that would overall just raise the quality of a lot of things people are doing with something that may be hard to actually do. I mean, I didn't realize how hard it was to have, as we talked about last time, how hard it is for this engine to do what do you call it? Transparency for shapes.
Oh god, the opacity feature.
Yeah, the opacity feature. I didn't think that would be that hard. I'm like, you have things already in the game that have opacity sliders. How hard is it to apply that to a shape? But that's, once again, me not knowing what the hell I'm talking about.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily hard to do it. I mean, to actually make the feature would probably be really easy. I think it's down to, because everything being transparent and with reflections, I just think the PlayStation 4 just would not be able to handle that amount of frames at once on the screen. It just wouldn't cope. It would just crash.
I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible.
You can imagine it's probably something that's more leaned towards PS5 than PS4, because the problem with it is Media Molecule can't control how much that feature will be used in one scene. Someone might make a whole city that's completely transparent, and if they do, it's going to crash because it
Yeah.
just won't handle that amount. So I don't think the issue is making the feature; it's controlling the amount that you can use within a certain scene.
And that's why also I brought up earlier, like, is there a V2 of their engine that just had no chance of making it to PlayStation 4, and they're just like, we're holding. Like, I wonder if they have
Well,
the
yeah.
Apex engine that, like, that's what they're planning on dropping for PS5. But we'll have to ask them.
Well, it's like I said before. I think it's an absolute miracle it works in the first place.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the age of the system that we've got, it's an absolute miracle and godsend that we have this piece of software working on the system that we currently have.
Yeah, it's
Because,
Crisis
I mean,
running on an IBM Tandy.
yeah.
Like, bottom line.
I
It's
mean,
horrible.
just saying it on paper, like imagine saying all the features that Dreams offers, and then saying, "Okay, we want that to run on a PS4." You'd be like, "You're crazy! It's never going to happen." But it's happened. So it's mad. Like, just list everything that Dreams does and say, "Yeah, you can do all of that on a PlayStation 4 base
Mm.
console." Crazy.
Yeah, it's and like,
Uh,
no get lost in my words, because I know I speak with a lot of passion. Some people think I'm like, these idiots can't make opacity. That's not what I'm saying at all, because we have said many times, like, the idea, and as he just said, the idea that Dreams can be on a PlayStation 4 at all without it exploding is insane. They pulled off a miracle in my eyes. So,
Genuinely did.
oh,
Technological miracle.
yeah.
So do you want another question from me, or shall we
Sure.
move on to your next question?
No. Throw it at me.
All right,
Throw it at
all
me.
right. Do you see a future where actual studios, or let's just like actual studios that's currently, got proper studios that are making games, or new studios using Dreams as a main engine to create actual games for? Like, let's just say when exportation becomes a thing, or it's exclusive to actual developers or serious people, whatever the case may be, do you think there'll become a point where we actually see proper studios using Dreams as their main engine to create games?
This is a question that I actually have written down
Oh.
for Media Molecule if we can ever get them on the show.
Mm.
Because I think, like, if I had to guess, we've mentioned the 10-year plan multiple times, and they, as they've stated, if I had to guess what their 10-year plan was, it's to do exactly that.
Okay.
It's to make Dreams into something that can actually, basically, in the end, at the end of its cycle, transcend into something outside of PlayStation and be used to create high quality products. And if they have 10 years to do it, I think it's possible. But that's if I had to guess at what they see as the end game of Dreams. That's it. And I want to know if that is in fact what they're thinking.
You do know you're not going to get that answer on air, right?
I thought about that, but it would almost seem like that's something that they could answer. Like, of course, you don't want them to they can't give away specifics, but the theory behind the trajectory of their game, that's a really open question. Like, you can answer it in ways that don't
Yeah.
necessarily
You could.
cause you to blow your whole wad. You could be like, we're just focusing on the next couple of years and just trying to make something that people are ultimately continuously interested in. Said nothing, answered my question. That's
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very true. Very
that's
true.
why I feel comfortable asking, because I am trying to, like, when I think of what I would ask them, I'm trying to do things that wouldn't step on anyone's toes and wouldn't get them locked down by Sony, but But really, that's what I see. Is if there is an overall 10-year plan that isn't actually just surviving as a game, then it has to be for a greener pasture. And the
Mm.
only greener pasture is to basically go big. Like to be able to stand with others that are perceived in your field. That it's the only logical thing for me personally. Like it has to be.
So for me, I think yes, it's definitely something that is very possible to happen. Um, Companies using Dreams as their main engine for creating games or anything else with, for that matter. And the reason I think it is because let's just imagine that Media Molecule are working on like, this major PC version of Dreams, all right? So like Dreams Pro or Dreams Plus or whatever, if you will. And they pitch Dreams to these huge game development companies and say, look what everybody on our platform has made using the limitations of a console. And then they pop Dreams Plus on the table and say, now imagine what you could create with this higher version that has X feature, X feature, X feature, X feature, this upgraded, because you're not limited to the console. And they'll be like, okay, look at this game. This was made by 3 people in 6 months. How long would have that taken you to make on your software? With the Plus version, you could make it in 3 months with half of the resources that you're currently using.
Yeah, I mean that's what Martin is doing now. I
Yeah,
mean, he's working
exactly.
on the previs for a movie with John Malkovich to like
Crazy.
they're using Dreams as the previs tool for the movie. But the thing is if they're already doing that year one with all the things that we're talking about could be made better, I have to believe by year 10 that they won't have to make it a previs.
No, exactly. It will be the main tool that they will use
Yeah.
to create it with. And that's what I think they will be aiming for, is to get these developers to move away from these conventional engines and move to something a bit more creatively free.
Hmm.
And Dreams allows that, and like it allows people to be more artistic in the way that they create stuff, because they're not sort of pushed in the corner to the way that the engine works. Dreams allows you to be completely free. You don't have to follow the rules of an engine with Dreams. At least for me, I feel it's just so freeing that you can do what you want, how you want to do it, whenever you want to do it. Whereas with another engine, it's like, well, you have to do it this way, and it's got to be done like this, and you have to follow
Hmm.
these rules. For me, Dreams feels like, when it comes to creating, especially like how I've seen our team create stuff for Dino, it's like it doesn't have any rules. If you want to do something, you just do it. And that's such a great thing to market towards other game development companies, is to allow these people that have sort of lost their artistic flair because they've been drummed into a pattern with how they have to do stuff, to then give them this major overhauled piece of software and say, hey, you can finally be creative again, get at it. Productivity would be out the roof. People would be creating more and more passionately because they have more creative freedom with what they're doing.
Yeah, and to go into what Insane Alpha Beta, who will be our next week's guest, as
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a spoiler for everybody, yes, but is Unreal and Unity in the same field of, or in the field of Dreams? Those are just game engines. Dreams is more akin to a creation engine, as you can make literally anything. You cannot make music in game engines. I agree, but I still think it's in the field, because even if it takes multiple programs to do ultimately what you can do in Dreams, it still has to stabilize itself within those communities in order to possibly overtake them. Now you can be like, hey, you could do all of this in Dreams. You can only do a part of it, and whatever. But there's a lot of people that like. I honestly expected to see more movies. I know I'm back on movies, but I honestly expected to see more movies within Dreams, and there's a few. But a lot of people have kind of, it's like you have the people that go into like movies like me. They came in wanting to do short films, and then you have people that do set pieces, and then you have people that make games. There isn't like that in between,
Mm.
where it's just like there's that bigger area. So it's like there's already stuff that people are getting paid for and work within these different sections that Dream has all of it. But you have to break through into those to replace them. So it may not, to those of us now, I agree with you. Like, it's not the same thing, but it's going to be applied in the industry as the same thing. So, it might not be the same as Unity or, how would you say? It might not be the same as Unity and
Unreal.
But it is a game engine. Like, it is. So if they hope to take on Unity and Unreal, they're going to have to take that market. Now, when it comes to music, okay, you got to go against Inbox, Audition, all those different things, and Pro Tools. You got to go against them. Like, you're going to get those people who've been working in the industry for the last 15 years on their music making program to come over. It's going to have to take on all of them. And it's a lot, but I think it is possible as long as they get it going. There's a new giveaway for the PS5. In order to get in, you have to find a job, collect a couple paychecks, and buy it all for free. Facts. So,
but to go on the movie side of what you just mentioned with engines, apart from the music side, I mean, it would be completely possible to create a film within game engines, would it not? I mean, surely they create cutscenes for the games within the engine.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be not feasible. I mean, we've seen it done before with Square Enix. I mean, they created Final Fantasy XV's Kingsglaive. They've created Advent Children, Final Fantasy VII. And I'm assuming they would have made these in their engines that they use for the games as opposed to getting a whole new movie creation suite, would they not?
I don't know enough about that to answer with any sort of confidence, but I would, I would think so. But
because, like, with these massive games that we have that have these beautiful cutscenes, they're not going to make those in a completely different engine, are they? They're going to be made in the same engine that the game's being made in, so it's quite possible to make a movie within a conventional game engine, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that's how they do it anyway, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see ultimately is what that comes to, because I think it's highly possible for them to usurp some of the industry standards, but it's going to have to be at that 10-year mark. This is all refining. Insane Alpha Beta, as I said before, creators need time to create. I'm willing to bet you there are dreamers making movies and dreams and really great ones, but since Dreams is still in its infancy stages, those bigger projects just aren't done or ready yet. I'd suspect next year's Dreamscom may be when you start to see the really big projects that are coming, my own included. I agree.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah,
completely. Dreamscom 2021 is going to be insane. I think 2021 Dreams is going to start trending again in the fact that all these major outlets are going to be like, whoa, do you know those reviews we said about Dreams? Yeah, we're going to change that. Have you seen the list of trailers that are coming out and the quality of the games, the quality of the films, the quality of everything that is now coming out on Dreams because it's had time to grow? It's going to be insane. You just watch this space. Dreams is going to blow up again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like day one, because of people that were in the beta, day one you saw crazy shit. Day one of Dreams, you saw some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And out of all the stuff I saw, I didn't see a movie. I saw something that looked like it could rival Dead Space. I saw we all saw these things, and it is weird to me that there hasn't already been something. But I do fully believe that people are cooking up things, but I will not believe until it's shown to me that it's at the ratio that people are kicking out game projects.
No, and I don't think it ever will be.
And I think it should be, though.
Yeah, it should be, but I think it's pretty much down to the marketing aspect of Dreams. When Dreams became a thing, it was all about creating games. That's what its main marketing aspect was. You can create games, and we give you all the elements you need to create a game within one piece of software. So you can create the music for your game, you can create the cutscenes for your game, and you can create the gameplay elements of your game. And that's to me is what it was really advertised as. And it has the ability to create music on its own. It has the ability to create movies on its own. But the whole advertising side of Dreams was so focused on games that it kind of got pushed in the corner. That, like, don't forget, you can make fully fledged CGI films with this piece of software, you know? And I think that's the reason why, is because it was just advertised so forefrontedly as a game engine as opposed to a multimedia engine. It kind of just got just left in the shadows.
We'll see.
Because I mean, that's what ultimately Dream's success is about, right? Isn't it? It's creating games. I mean, when they do their showcases, it's like, what games have been made this week? It's all games. So you have to consider what their motive here is as well, and that drives back to a topic that I've discussed heavily in the past, that Dreams is actually a forefront to find talent to create indie studios within Sony's umbrella for free, which I ultimately still think is the whole thing with Dreams anyway, is that it's pretty much a talent scouting application. And I wholeheartedly believe that that's what it is. And that's why I think it's so pushed towards games and games alone. I mean, they tinkle into just music and stuff and other things they've shown before, but everything is so focused on games. And I think it's because that is the ultimate goal, is to find people that can create amazing content, and then they're going to get hired by Sony or whatever to use Dreams as a platform that will then get exported onto the PlayStation Store and so on and so forth.
And yeah, Insane Alpha Beta, I agree. I mean, those things will happen. It's just it's funny to me that people need to be inspired towards that by seeing other things. Like, just because it was day one, it's like, that's finally, I have it, and I know I'm not special. I'm not a unique snowflake. Like, I know there's somebody out there that's that would have the same reaction. It's weird to me that it's not more people. But we're going to take that and go into something. It's a little negative. In proposing, it's a little negative.
Get prepared for chat.
But it's in theory. In theory. Right, what is something Dreams could do to piss you off?
Oh, okay. Paid DLC is definitely something that I think would piss me right off. Like,
Really?
Hey, here's I think like, hey, here's like, this new feature for $10.99. Here's this other feature for $5.99. Oh, do you know that problem that you wanted us to make simpler? We've done that, but you got to pay £6 for it. That would piss me off. That would really piss me off.
The only thing I could think of for what would piss me off is what if, now hear me out. I think I'd still pay, but I'd be mad. What if everything we know as Dreams right now is actually the beta? And what if
oh my God.
And what if Dreams 2 came out in 4 months on PlayStation 5?
Yeah, that would
Like,
be really, yeah.
and then I started to think, what's the limit? Because let's say it's a 10-year plan, but they want to have multiple games. What is the limit? Like, what is the time span that you're willing to have dreams exist before you feel it's actually acceptable for them to be like, hey guys, there's a Dreams 2?
That's a
Oh,
big
look at
question.
that. Look at that man's face. Whoo, Lord Jesus.
Oh, no, that took me by surprise. I just don't think it would happen. They wouldn't do that. That would piss off so many people to be like, oh, hey, you know, when we said it was beta, then early access, then full release, yeah, it's been beta this whole time. Like, you know, they just wouldn't do that. They wouldn't.
And that's what would make the betrayal so sweet.
They wouldn't. No,
Be like,
no,
two?
no, no,
2
no,
million
no.
molecule? Oh boy. It really, that's the only thing I could think of where I was like, I might come away from that a little salty, but I'd buy it.
You wouldn't be pissed off with paid DLC then for new features within Dreams?
I think that's less possible, because like I could see them having like an asset thing. Like if they were to say, hey, there's this mouth thing, the thing I was just asking for. They were like, hey, we found a way to do it. We got this thing. It's called What That Mouth Do 2.0. And we already have it set up. All you have to do is plop it right in your character. It works on any dummy. If they had that and they were like, but we had to develop this outside of the game and then make it work, $10. I'd pay $10 for that. I might even pay $20 for that, because it raises the quality so much.
Sorry, but someone in chat put, the only thing that can make me not want to play Dreams is a Facebook login.
Oh, Quest, Oculus. Oh, Oculus.
That's so good.
So, yeah, like, I mean, but that's just it. It's like if they were charging for things that actually are like huge quality of life, like things that they're like, we made it, it works, and it'll automatically raise the quality of your voice acting or character quality or something like that, I'd probably pay that. I mean, I feel like they'd never do that because I feel like they kind of have it where it's like, it's up to y'all kind of to figure out how to do this stuff. You know, we gave you all the tools. It's your job now. But if they charge for something like that, I'd have a hard time being mad. But if they were like, you're actually all part of the beta, thanks for giving us your money, here's Dreams 2. Like, that would actually like make me step back for a moment and be like, wait a minute. I thought you were different. Oh, well. Yeah. You know, it's like that. And he says, there is something. I mean, automatically, the thing that makes me the angriest is probably that 15-second record time. But I can't fault them for that.
No, they added it.
Yeah, that's people ruining shit.
Yep.
Because people always got habitual fucking line steppers. Excuse my language. But it really angers me that when I finally got into doing voice acting in Dreams, I'm sitting here having to like speak in skips to try to like that. Like my wife, I told you, my wife is a singer, operatic, and she wanted to do singing for the trailer of Dino. But when I told her that it was like a 15-second limit, she's like, I can't even get a full note. Like it's like, think of it, like making a song that isn't like rap in that type of like time frame is ridiculous. It's completely limiting to the entire aspect. Like, I'd probably make an album. I'd probably make a rap album, and I'd probably make a guitar album if I didn't have to do, like, you know, because I like to do it all myself. I like to play it all myself and stuff. Like, I would probably do that if there wasn't that 15-second limit. And the fact that it is just makes me not even want to deal with audio.
Do you know what would make that so much easier? And I've just came up with this on the fly. Do you know how YouTube has that automatic copyright infringement thing, where if you upload a track that is copyrighted, it picks it up straight away and it removes it from your video? Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah.
If they implemented something like that into Dreams, surely that would fix the problem, right?
Yes, but at the same time, I don't know how difficult it is to implement something like that into Dreams, like into the actual game. But there has to be a way. I'm gonna tell you, I'd be a snitch ass motherfucker. If it means I get longer than 15 seconds, I better not catch any of y'all using some copyright. I will report you in a second. You can call me Mighty Karen, because I'm gonna be out there I'm gonna be snitching on all y'all. If it means I can get more than 15 seconds, I'm gonna tell you, I'm stabbing backs immediately. No questions. Just because I would go uber strict. Strict. If you're no, hell with that. With that.
All right.
If there is copyright infringement, like, of course there has to be, if this is the case, there has to be an appeals thing. But if there is copyright infringement and you're using someone else's stuff, remove it. Like, it will remove your project and you from Dreams. Once. Wow. And you could have your appeal. If you're like, I didn't use it, they're saying that I can't use a E guitar chord. Of course, then, F them, whatever. But real talk, if I can get back longer than 15 seconds, I'm willing to say, if you use copywritten stuff, just remove you from Dreams. We don't need you. That's how serious I am about it.
Mm. I don't think that'll ever happen. But...
Mighty Karen, the Sam Jack evangelist of Dreams. I love how my roles and my name just keeps getting longer. I love it. I'm gonna take it. I'll take it.
Oh God.
But unless you are Elka, since he got the green light from Nickelodeon. Now, hey, when it comes to outside stuff, but I'm talking mostly audio. Like, they got found out, they had to talk to Nickelodeon. And Nickelodeon said, yeah, just change the name. That's cool. But I'm talking about strictly audio. Like, strictly, like, I need more than 15 seconds. I got a lot to say, as y'all can see. I got a lot to say, and I can't get it in the 15-second burst. Like, so, because this is the thing I've noticed. Because of that limit, people write lines for things in Dreams with that kind of embedded in their brain, like, even if they don't think about it. Like, how many times I have an actual role as opposed to just lines. Like, it really does affect people in ways that they're not thinking of. Like, even the people creating, where it's like, when you can't go too long and it's going to be hard to put all of that stuff together, and you have to have time to put the inflections on the voice and convey the emotion in 15 seconds. That's hard. So people write stuff to where it's more like writing lines and not necessarily writing a role.
Yeah.
That is too limiting to this beautiful platform. So that's what I got to say about that. I'll let you. I've been talking. I've been talking a lot.
No, it's fine. You get passionate about something, you gotta roll with it.
Yes, I'm passionate about everything. So, I guess the last question I have for you.
All right.
Are you an audiophile? Like, are you like, because I know you really like to create music, and you brought up the Tempest engine to me, and I didn't even all I heard was PlayStation 5 sounds good. Like, that's all. Like, I had forgotten that they even used the words Like that there was an engine behind it. That's how much I pay
Yeah.
attention. I'm just like, there sounds cool. And you're like the Tempest engine. So is that like something you're super excited about?
Yes, it is.
Now make
I
me excited.
okay, so I love sound, and I think sound is just as important as anything else when it comes to a creation or a film or a game or whatever the case may be. And with this Tempest engine, it allows for 3D audio in the best possible way. So, like, there's this thing called the barbershop. Have you ever heard it?
No.
Okay, so there is this audio file called the barbershop. I will find it and I will send it to you for you to try, and then you'll understand exactly what I mean.
Okay.
And this audio file, you literally sit down and close your eyes, put your headphones on, and it's like you are in the room. So imagine VR but sound. That's what 3D audio is. It's absolutely amazing. And this barbershop file, it's a virtual haircut. So you have these two people chatting, and you can literally place them in the room and know where they are. You can pinpoint where they are because of how the 3D audio works. Your brain can calculate how close they are, what position they're in the room, and they walk around the room and they give you a virtual haircut. And like you hear the clippers going and the scissors, and you hear doors shutting, and you are literally looking around and you thought, did a door just actually close behind me, or was it this thing that I'm listening to?
Huh.
That's how realistic it is. It
Hmm.
literally tricks your mind into believing that it's real. And the first time I listened to it, when they opened the door and shut it, I was looking around, like I was like, babe, did you shut the door? Like, where are you? Hello? And I was like, oh wait, it's this that I'm listening to. That's how real it is. And it's like that's the best way I can describe it. It's VR but for sound. It makes it real. And that's what's coming to the PS5.
Hmm.
And so I'm excited to see if Dreams will make use of that and allow audio to be created in this Tempest engine within Dreams, because it would just open up a whole new world for immersion within games, especially for games like horror. With this whole 3D audio spectrum, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'd imagine that it would be pretty big for horror. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, I said what I said. So, but yeah, I mean, for anything though, like I don't know, like I can't remember the guy that I met on Twitter who made he made water in Dreams, and it
Hmm.
straight up looked like it looked real. Like, I mean, there's some good water out there, and there's some water that from a distance can trick you, and you're like, oh, God, the fidelity on that. But this dude made straight up like you were about to go into the ocean. And Sir David Attenborough was about to start telling you about the beluga whale, like, and I was just like, man, it blew my mind, and so you have me a bit excited now, because if that, like, thinking of that guy making, or that person, I'm not sure if it was a guy, honestly, um but
You would
whoever
be
made
more
that water,
excited.
yeah, it's like I get excited when I like the application of it excites me, but not the sheer just statement of technology, if that makes
No.
sense.
Yeah. Once you
So
listen to this audio file that I'll send you, you'll get it and you'll be like, "Oh my God, this is actually a really big feature." Like once you've heard it and you understand what it sounds like, you
yeah,
can't go back. You just can't go back. And to think that because I know what this Tempest engine is and I've experienced it for myself in the past, I can imagine what that's like playing a game, like especially like playing Miles Morales. If that has Tempest 3D audio on it, which it will, I mean, it's a first party game, so they should be adding it to it. I can just imagine swinging through the city and going past different noises as you swing, how that's going to sound coming across in this 3D engine is going to sound amazing because it takes the limitations of what's coming in your ears directly, and it makes it sound more spatially aware. So you could, with 3D audio, you can make it sound like you are in this 2x2 room, or you can make it sound like you're in this huge auditorium, because it just has the ability to make it sound bigger, smaller, shorter, wider. It has so much more attributes to it that makes it more immersive. And to add that to gameplay is a big, big thing for me.
You catching shade in chat. Joe out here throwing haymakers in chat. But yeah, I mean that feels right. I mean that I would say I'm excited now. I'm excited for that. I mean I'd like to see it's the Spider-Man. You said Spider-Man and immediately got me on board. Cuz I just think of the idea of being able to simulate height. Like everybody does the dive off of the tall building and
yeah
towards the ground and then swinging away right at the last minute. And it's like, think of the sound of the ground and people and cars getting closer to you.
Yeah.
And then like the swing and the like go back up away from that. That could be all right. All right. I see what you're saying. I'm slipping in what you're slicking, and I'm liking it. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I'm all about that. All right. Well, hey, you made me care. Because when you first brought up the Tempest engine and I looked at what it was, I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about this. Don't nobody care about this shit. But yo, this is good stuff. Yeah. I mean, I could only imagine if you actually, played. I don't play Call of Duty, but if you're playing Call of Duty and you can hear or Battlefield and you can hear the bullets actually whipping by you, like I'd imagine that'd be creepy. That'd be weird.
Yeah. Like, you said I was getting shade in chat, and I can see what this guy is saying. But like, yeah,
you might have a point.
But no, I mean, yeah, you can get this type of effect with really good quality headphones, but not to the extent that 3D audio gives you. Like with stereo sound, you can only get so much, but with 3D audio, it's all about the spatial awareness that it gives. And like, sure, if something moves from left to right, you're going to get that because it's stereo, right? But with 3D audio, you get the space in between. You don't just get it going from one ear to the other. You get everything in between that line. And that's what makes it special. And the thing that makes it even more special is that you don't need specific headphones for this to work. The engine does all the work for you. So
what you're saying is I don't have to buy the headphones?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah, you can use your normal headphones. You can use the sound bar. You can use surround sound, the sound on your TV. Obviously, the best experience is going to be on an expensive set of headphones. But the engine that they've developed allows it to work on anything. But the best experience is with headphones, of course.
Oh, of course. All right. Well, I mean, I think I'm pretty much tapped out as far as my questions. That was my last one.
I'm pretty much done on those too.
Well, actually, I have one more.
All right.
Despite the last couple of weeks where we've been discussing the conversation going around the Dreams community of Dreams quote unquote dying, I mean on Twitter especially, I've been seeing a daily barrage of different Media Molecule Now hiring posts, like daily now. It started out, hey, did you see that? Did someone posted that? Blah blah blah. Now it's like every time I go into Twitter. What do you think they're gearing up for?
I think they're gearing up for something big. I think that PS5 was always the intended console for Dreams. But I think for them to be able to get the player base that they needed to release it on PS4. Because the PlayStation 4's player base is so huge. But I think it was mainly intended for PS5 because of the hardware. And I think now that the PS5 is so close, they're gearing up for what they intended Dreams to be in the first place, and they're going to be like, yeah,
Look,
you love what you've got, but this is what we actually were creating, and now we can finally give it you because the console we designed it for is actually out. So here you go.
look, I ain't put all this thought sauce into these questions to be getting some surface ass answers. What do you think they are gearing up for? I want specifics. Give me the pitch. What are they about to bring? Don't just be like PS5. Of course. It's a month away, of course. But we've only spent 3 episodes talking about what if the PS5? Like, but what? Like, what exactly do you think it's coming to?
I think Bigger Firmo is definitely going to come, not straight away, but I think Bigger Firmo is definitely one of them. I think ray tracing is going to be something that they're going to implement into it. Better textures. I don't know, just an array of different things. It's difficult to know what they're going to do because Media Molecule is so random anyway in everything that they do. It's so difficult to try and guess what it is that they're going to do until they do it.
I'm wondering whether to accept this answer. I'm mulling it over. The wine is hitting the sides of the glass. I'm trying to figure out whether or not I'm going to press for even more. Because I'd like to think, personally, that they tuned in to the last 2 episodes of this podcast and they've taken some ideas and that they're going to grab, they are going to actively start grabbing more people from the community. Like, I think they're actually going to push. They're ready to make a full assault on all fronts. Like marketing, not just what's coming in PS5, but like marketing, putting out actual feelers into the community, planting people in places. I think they're planning on going all the things that we've been worried about with them not doing. This is their push to do it because it's from everything from like, what was the first job? The curators to making the what was it? It was like people who would specialize in basically making media for certain things with Media Molecule. I mean, they've been pulling people for a while, but now they're actually putting out, they're putting out things to actually acquire people. I mean, that's really all I can think of at this point is that that's what it is that they are gearing up to hopefully do what I was screaming about last week. And that's literally try to destroy, like make PlayStation or make Dreams synonymous with PlayStation. Not just that it's only on PlayStation, that it will be the forefront. And I really think that they need to push for that. So,
it's whether they will or not, though. I mean, Sony has a track record of, pushing a load of money into a project and then doing hardly anything with it, which is a problem.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be the first time. But, you know what? I'm not going to keep it from our fans. People have been really interactive today and whatever. So, look, I've actually heard back from Abby.
Oh.
She's in talks with Kareem, as well as both of them getting okayed through Sony to come onto this podcast. So, with that being out in the open, we don't know if it's going to happen yet, but talks with Sony are actually happening to get them on this podcast. So what I've done, thank you, Eddie. You're the one that added her. So thank you putting in the legwork. I appreciate you. So with that being the case, if you are part of our Discord, I have opened up a section that is questions for Media Molecule. And if you have questions that you want us to ask them, given I don't know how much time we're going to have, so I can't promise that everyone's questions or if this will even happen, but they're trying to get the okay from Sony. So if this happens, go to the Discord, throw your questions into the questions for MM, and we'll just build up our top questions basically to try to have some points to really kind of go at them on that we will be able to do. So, will you hire me? Everybody wants to know, can they be hired by Media Molecule effective immediately?
Yeah, we have like 600 people that are willing to work for you. So if you just grab them all, and just get them in your tiny little office in Guildford, that'd be great.
Yeah. I mean, and Spicy, you keep getting better every time I see your work, man. Real talk. Like, every time I see your work, it's and I see it everywhere. I've been seeing it when you post on Reddit. I've been seeing it on Facebook, even though I go once every blue moon now. You getting your stuff out there, and your work is magnifique.
It is.
So
crazy work he's doing.
So yeah, I mean that's everything. Hopefully y'all will go in and put some questions in for us. I have a page of questions for them that I'm gonna have to sacrifice some of them, but we do it for the people so that our community. See, it's community key to the soul. Anyway, no. We do it so that y'all can get your voices out there too. We're not the only ones important here. We're really important, but not, it's like an 80-20, okay? No, I'm just kidding. So, yeah, go ahead, get those questions out whenever they happen to pop up, and hopefully we'll be able to get that locked down.
Exciting times.
It blew my mind earlier this week when she reached out. So I hope y'all are as excited as we are, because we're pretty pumped. But yeah, anything you need to say to the people before we go? Did you die?
No, I'm here.
Did you die? That's
sorry. I'm on a lot of cold and flu medicine right now.
That man was just astral traveling. I'm on my way to Media Molecule right now, bro. Okay, well,
just keep going, everybody. Just keep creating, keep playing, and keep playing. Big one. Keep playing. There is not enough players on Dreams right now. There's a lot of people creating, but there's not enough playing. So take the time to play other people's creations so the Dreamiverse stays alive. That's what I'd like to say.
Okay, all right. Well, extend that out a little bit, because I did not take the time to see who we're going to raid. So while I have a moment to try to get this going, say something to the people.
It's like, I see it every day when I go on the Dreamiverse. There is not enough people playing games. You can see how many people are playing a certain creation at a time, especially like for really good creations. And it's only like 1 or 2 people at a time. It's just, it's not enough. People need to be playing these games more. If we want the Dreamiverse to expand and to have this huge player base, we need to be playing those games, especially for the creators as well. Like, I understand everybody's creating games and they're working on their own projects, but we need to continue to support each other. So take the time to play other people's creations, comment on them, get the community rolling with everybody. It's just, Dreams is just such a beautiful place. It would be a shame for the Dreamiverse side to sort of die down and the creation side to sort of build up. We need to keep a happy medium between the two.
Well said. And on that, we will end the episode. Thank you, everybody. We're going to raid Keld. And, yeah, catch y'all next week when we have Insane Alpha Beta. And it should be fun. Should be real fun. Thank you all for joining.
No worries. Bye.